Let's wait for the green. And we are live.
Hello, people of That Beautiful Life podcast. This is Roger Bergström talking all the way from the beautiful Stockholm, Sweden. I would say it's beautiful right now because the sun is shining. It wasn't a few hours ago. It was heavy rain. But you see, the forces of weather can change its mind, you might say. It's episode 182. And I think you heard my dear friend in the background there, Mr. Kudus Campbell, all the way from the beautiful Reading, UK. How are you doing, my friend?
Oh man, you know what? You caught me at just the moment when I was yawning, like
Yeah,
mid yawn.
exactly. that wasn't the best of timing, but hey, what can I do? What can I do?
I'm just like, oh, let me come on, yawn, finish, so I can just. No, he's
Exactly.
calling my name now.
Come on, John, express mode.
Exactly. I'm brilliant.
Bullet train mode, maybe. Yeah.
Bullet train mode, as the episode title goes. Yeah. It's been good. Honestly, like it's August, which means it's Gamescom time, and despite the fact like I'm good, I'm happy, my family and all that kind of stuff, there's a side of me that's kind of like, oh man, I wish I was at Gamescom. I wish I was going to Gamescom this year, but I'm not going to Gamescom this year. So
no, yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Actually, we talked a bit about it. We even talked like maybe we go there.
Yeah,
or
definitely.
there, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of awakened a little old Gamescom nerve inside me. But yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully it can happen maybe next year,
Hopefully.
It's always, it is something special. I mean, I've been there only once, but I would definitely like to go there again.
Yeah, definitely. And I think going again with you and I want to take Xavi with me as well. I think that would be awesome. I think one, I think he's gonna appreciate it, and I think he's old enough to get understand the appeal of such an event outside of just like, oh, cool game stuff, yay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just gonna be cool for us to hang out again, and especially in such a setting, But yeah, it's happening this year, as per usual, and I'm looking forward to Gamescom. There's a lot of other stuff, but generally speaking, I think Gamescom is about it's around this time of year, and I think it's probably my most exciting time of the year per se, because of the fact that I think some of the best and biggest announcements happen around now. It used to be around E3. E3 used to be...
Exactly. I was just about to say that. It's interesting. It has kind of changed when it comes to focus, right?
Yeah.
I think Gamescom, isn't that like the biggest in some...
It is the biggest now. It is the biggest now. E3 used to be the biggest. I mean, the Summer Games Fest is I guess what replaced E3, but I think I'd say Gamescom is the biggest now, especially when you look at it from the professional press kind of kind of place to be.
It's very established. It's been around for years now.
Yeah,
people know that it's good. They are arranging it well. As you say, from a professional side of view, it's all there.
It is.
It's like most people are there. So yeah. Dear Cologne, we miss you.
I do miss Cologne. Oh man.
Yeah. I've said it before. I like Cologne.
It is nice.
I had good memories already from before, which I mentioned since we played, I think twice actually with Chromata in Cologne through the years, and always good memories. There was though one thing, and I probably said this before. That was when we were collaborating with the Cologne Symphony Orchestra, and we were playing in the Philharmonic Hall. Well, very beautiful place, not too far from the Dome actually. And we had a setup if you don't know what I did, I was a professional percussionist playing in this percussion ensemble, and we were soloists with the symphony orchestra. And it was in one of the movements in this kind of concert, we were like soloists with the orchestra again, and one of my colleagues had like a lot of big maybe you've seen that on movies. It's like big, not tam-tams, but big gongs, like Thai gongs.
Yeah.
And the biggest of them can be like 1.5 meter in diameter. They're quite big and heavy. And they were on this big rack behind him, maybe 10 of them. And yeah, it's usually a good solution. But at this point, for some reason, it started to sway a bit, and he was hitting them quite hard. This was the general rehearsal, actually. And all of a sudden, he was standing in front of it. He had a vibraphone in front of him, which is a melodic percussion instrument. And the goddamn... it just fell over him. That's basically what happened. Luckily, and this is luckily, it fell so he was still standing in a gap between some of these gongs. Imagine that. He could have freaking have gotten the gongs in, and he would have fainted or died.
Yeah.
So everyone stopped playing, and it was a bit of a shock. And our driver and our, you could say, almost instrument manager in a way, because he was not only a great truck driver taking some of our instruments on the road, but he also was good at putting up like a marimba or a vibraphone for that sake and all the drums we needed. He went up to the choir, like the place behind the orchestra, and put a rope and attached it to the rack. So he put it on a bar behind there. So it was like, secured, you might say. So, oh God, yeah, that's a memory from But besides that, there was actually a hotel. I might have said this to you, I'm not sure, but there was a hotel just by the dome. A really nice hotel, by the way. I don't think it's a hotel any longer. And we stayed there. So it was like very convenient, like walking distance to almost everything.
I do remember you mentioning that. I do remember you mentioning
probably,
the hotel.
Yeah. Getting older now, you start to repeat yourself. Like, I mean,
I do all the time. I think I was doing it since birth or something. Like, I think I was talking to like some people, I'm talking to my missus, and I'm saying something, and she's like, "Yeah, you told me that already."
Now look at that. Hey, let's go. By the way, Chris, nice to hear from you. I hope you're back safe in Tobago.
He's actually got a flu. Last I spoke to him, he was.
He
yeah,
got the flu?
yeah. He told me he landed, and now he's not feeling well. So yeah, I told him to get some rest.
You're a good chef. Yeah, you're a good chef. You can do something good with like garlic and ginger and stuff.
Yeah,
that might help. Hopefully, yeah. Okay.
That's what he needs. Just need some garlic, some ginger, and he'll be fine. Yeah,
he'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, but again, that's so typical. Also, you've been away, different, bacterias or whatever, and also flying. We talked about that before. It's very easy to catch something with flying, or like very heavily air-conditioned places. Like that is also something I remember from my traveling, especially going overseas, for example, to the US. And I mean, here in Sweden, since we have 4 seasons and usually not that warm summers, we don't have like air conditioning in our houses. It's not normal, at least. I mean, some have nowadays, but it's not like maybe you buy nowadays, like as Adam did, like a small kind of thing. But which means that if you go overseas and then you go when we were like in Phoenix, Arizona or somewhere, and it's very hot outside, and then you go indoors and it's like in the hotel room and it's so cold all of a sudden. And next morning you wake up like starting to sneeze, Yeah.
So that's why you gotta dress for the weather. You gotta always be prepared. Always be prepared. That's one of the most important things you can do as a person. But
but how are you, and I mean, we talked a bit before we started to record, which we usually do. But it would be nice to hear.
I purposely didn't jump into anything with you before the recording, because today I wanted to start on time, because we've not been we've been started a bit late for the past couple of weeks.
True.
And I want to apologize because it's my fault more so than anything else, because by the time we start, I have nothing set up. And I usually we get on the call early and we vamp for time because I'm trying to
That's
prepare.
Correct, cough. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm trying to vamp for time with, we're trying to vamp for time because I'm creating the image and everything for the show. But last night I was up pretty late, I think till 4 a.m. somewhere around there.
Oh
Um,
my God.
yeah, no, I was, it was fine because I got a good rest in the afternoon, so I had energy in me.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just basically got up and I was playing this game I was streaming yesterday.
Okay.
The game I'm still playing, which is I don't know, Huge Trails in the Sky, and it was just going good. And I think that's one of the best things, like when you get into a game and it finally breaks into itself and it starts feeling really, really good and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Or
true,
you
true.
know, especially with an RPG, because some RPGs are slow at the beginning and take a while to sort of build up, which Trails in the Sky is one of those. Um, but now that it's in the full swing and you know you've got an attachment to the characters and the stories going some places and all that kind of stuff, it gets really interesting and then you kind of want to know what happens next. But at the same time, you're kind of self-conscious of look at the time, like, oh, shit, I need to go to bed. So last night was one of
Yeah.
those nights. I was just like, my missus comes in, I think she came in around 3 and she's like, when are you coming to bed? I was like, oh, let me just finish up some more and then I'll come to bed in a bit. And so I think around, say, after, I think she came in at 2. So I think between 3 and 4 was when I came to bed and I I just fell asleep instantly. Like I was unlike what you were saying to me, which was like you struggled to fall asleep last night. For me, it was
Yeah.
instant. Like I was out cold once I lay down comfortably.
Mm.
But in general, it's just been nice. It's just been chill. Nothing too complex. Nothing too cumbersome going on. Nothing too interesting. You know, Ty's at home. You know, Xavi's kind of partially at home because he's got his club he's going to.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Alex is working. Yeah, just generally, an average week, per se. I have not been able to be as active getting stuff done during the day because obviously Ty being home, it is complicated. Like he'll come in every few minutes and he'll be like, Daddy, look at this, look at this. Or he'll come in and his favorite line now is like, did you know? Did you know? And I'm just like, the did you know he comes in with? It's like, it's nothing interesting at all. Like, it's like, and it's not stuff it's not stuff that you should know either. It's like, did you know, Daddy, that this guy here, and he'll be holding a Lego that he just built, like a Lego guy. This guy here has spider powers, and this guy has green powers. I'm like, what is green powers made? Like,
That's interesting. Green powers. I would like to know more.
I was like, what's the power of green? Guy? Explain this to me. He's like Lloyd, Daddy, like Lloyd. I was like, who's Lloyd from Ninjago, Daddy? I don't watch Ninjago. But like Lloyd, green powers, and he's explained this to you as if you should know this. Like this is
Yeah. Okay,
everyone knows this. Like you don't know this? No. What?
it should be in your vocabulary.
Absolutely ridiculous. How dare you not know this insightful
Exactly.
exceptionalness that is
Dad, you're uneducated.
like a simpleton, Like
Yeah. You peasant, you.
that is literally the level he comes at when he comes at me.
That's funny. Oh, it's funny. Yeah.
It's funny, and also like some of my like yesterday, I had to tell him, I was like, Ty, when you come to talk to me about some stuff, come with some intelligent conversations, me like talk to me about the documentary you watched today. So then he
Okay.
and the thing is, it's not that he really wants to tell me anything interesting or anything. He just wants to interact with me. He wants to talk to me. That's generally what he wants. He wants the interaction. So as soon as I say it, before I can even finish it, he's like, "Did you know that octopuses have no blood?" And I'm just like really, Ty? Really? I was like, no, I didn't know that one. He's like, and did you know? He's before you finish like responding to the first one, he's already started the second one. Did you know, right? That starfish have no brain, and and it goes on like that for like a while until eventually you're like, Ty, can Daddy have a moment to like focus on what Daddy's doing and you go build your Legos. Go build me a castle. I don't want to build a castle.
Yeah. He put in that magazine and it was like auto fire, with the questions and everything. It's like
that's basically it.
He's showing off, but that's good. He's taking it He's bringing it forward. That's
It's
good.
good for
Yeah.
him, bad for
Yeah.
me and my
Yeah.
productivity because I can't get anything done around that. Like,
True.
at one point I said, Ty, grab a book and come and grab a book and read. Right? I thought he was gonna read in his room. He comes over to sit next to me. He comes in because there's an extra chair in the office. He comes, he gets himself comfortable, he props himself up right next to me, and then he's reading his book. At it's like, Daddy, yes, Ty. What's this word? He's like,
Funny. Okay. Yeah.
and or he'd
Oh
be
my
reading
God.
something and he'd be like, the man skip that. Ty, what we mean skip that? What are you skipping? Go back. He's like, and
Yeah.
he knows I'm gonna tell him to pronounce the word at that point in time. Because
Of
like
course.
who
Yeah.
reads as skip that, right? Like that's not how you read words. You will not, the sentence would
Oh,
make
bro.
no sense. You know, and then yeah, like generally speaking, yeah, it's been quite a bit of that, me and Ty do nothing.
Oh,
Um
that's lovely.
yeah, he's a bundle of joy and a bane to my productivity, but still a bundle of joy. I can't be productive around him at all, like nothing.
Mm.
But yeah, we tried to teach him the act of consideration yesterday.
Yeah.
He came in and sorry, Alex came in and she was like, if only someone would make me a tea. And I was like, well, I'm trying to finish up some work here. She's like, she's like, you know what? I should ask Savior to make me a tea. But I was like, nah, Zavi's doing some, what do you call the thing? Like, I think because he came in, he did his chores and everything like that. And he was finally getting like time to himself. So I was like, nah, don't bother him. Like, let him chill.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then she was like, okay. So I was like, Ty, why don't you go make the tea for mommy? And he's like, no, I don't want to. I was like, what do you mean you don't want to? He's like, I don't want to. I don't know how to make tea. I was like, but Ty, And then he starts crying, and I'm like, mate, what are you crying for? And he's like, but I don't want to make a tea for mommy. I'm like, mate, are you serious? I was like, so Alex goes, and she's making the tea, right? Like, she's not even bothering with whatever we got going on. She's off making her tea. And the thing I started explaining to him, I was like, Ty, the thing is that it's not about, because then he turned to me and he's like, Daddy, can I play on the Switch? And I was like, no. And I was like, I don't want to. And then he's like, but you said I could play on it after. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to. He's like, but why? I was like, well, you don't want to make mommy a tea. And he's like, but I can't make a tea. I was like, Ty, it's not about if you can or can't. I was like, it's the willingness to want to help other people you care about. Like, I would like for you to say like, oh, because mommy's not going to want you to actually make a tea because she knows you can't properly make a tea, But it's the willingness to do it. Because like at the same time, we walk downstairs, Zavi's in the kitchen and he's like, yeah, I'll make a tea. And I was like, nah, man, like, relax. I was like, you see, I showed Ty, I'm like, Ty, like, this is what you need to want. You need to like offer to help. It's not that you will help or you can't help, but you gotta make that offer. You gotta express that sort of want to help out the people around you. And he's like, yeah, but I don't want to. Right? And I'm just like, mate, you haven't got it. I was like, no Switch right now. And then he sort of like, he hangs out downstairs a bit with Alex and Zavi for a bit. And eventually, I think it kind of made sense to him, like, because Zavi's doing stuff. And eventually he starts coming, at first he starts coming and asking me if I need help with anything. But granted, I was like, Ty, you only offered me for help because you know I hold the power with regards to the Switch and you want to play the Switch. So you don't actually want to help me. You just want the Switch. But then with time, he started to, get the hang of it, and he was.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he is quite helpful, and he'll come in and he'll be like, oh, can I take your plate for you? Can I put it in the sink? Can I take a glass of it? He does do that a lot, without wanting anything per se.
Yeah.
But that moment where he was like, but I don't want to. I was like, not like we were gonna make him make a tea. Like sometimes I'd be like, Ty, can you get me can you go to the shop and get me blah blah blah? And he'd be like, yeah, Daddy. I'm and he goes to get dressed and like, Ty, I'm kidding. Like, going anywhere. Yeah.
Well, the willingness is there, though.
The willingness is there. Like, I love when they're willing, like they want to do something to help out. Like, especially with Zavi. Like, I'll say, Zavi, can you go get my phone? And he'd be like, yeah. And he'll get up, and I'll be like, oh, kidding, I'll go get my phone. Don't worry about it. But I like to know that if I did need them for something, or if Alex needed them for something, they would want to help, or if they needed each other for something, they'd want to help. That kind of stuff, rather than it just being like, nah, me, 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 me.
Yeah, exactly. To put it in like a context, meaning that if I help you, you can help me, and we
Mm-hmm.
can, we trust each other in that sense, and we, because especially when they are young, they can't really understand that. It's more, as you said, me, me. They want things, but
Mm-hmm.
but giving things like that might be harder to do, or to understand why you should do it.
Yes.
But with time, it starts to, how do you say, yeah, they get it into the context why it's necessary,
Mm-hmm.
and partly that the society overall is built upon that you like the whole give and take thing. So I guess it's a lesson of life kind of stuff. Uh, I see
Definitely.
Chris is also making a comment. And if you're wondering, if you listen to this afterwards, sometimes we do refer a bit to the chat. We don't do that all the time. Otherwise, the episode would be split like in probably would take like 2 hours just to record. But it's fun to do it a bit since we are also doing this live. And Chris indeed being helpful. Yeah, he does ask you to carry your dishes in the sink without wanting anything. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, he
Young
does
young
that.
person doing that. Yeah.
He likes
Uh,
to do that kind of
yeah.
stuff. It's
Mm,
it's good. It's good. He's sweet like that. He comes in
mm.
and he's like, "Hey, can I help?" I think especially when he was younger, he would like if anything I was doing around the house, like DIY, when he's like, "Daddy, can I help? Can I help?"
Yeah, yeah. I remember you talking about that actually
Yeah.
when you took out the tool belt and started to do some stuff.
Yep.
And that's kind of cool. I was the same with. I actually, this is interesting. You triggered a bit of a childhood memory for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like that when I was a kid around
Mm-hmm.
my dad, because my dad, I mean, he worked as an like uh, what is the word for that? Well, basically, at like most of his career towards the end, he was a manager or CEO for a department in the town where we lived.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to like um, what is it called? Water and those kind of things, the supply of water and how that was distributed and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. It's a bit complex, but that's the best way I can describe it. But even so, he was a handyman, and he really liked to do that kind of stuff. And that's also he put down quite some time into the cabin that we still have. My
Mm-hmm.
mom's has kept it so far, at least. Uh, not too far from where he was actually born, or not too far. It's actually only like 300 meters from where my dad was born. It's a bit into the country up there north. Uh, but yeah, so he did, and I was like, can I get a hammer? I was like that. Can I get a knife? And eventually I got like I remember that small hammer. It was for kids, smaller shaft and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my first knife, and you started to got some wood and started to do stuff, and I got some nails, and I put together some weird shit that didn't really do something, but at least you were there and trying to help. And of course, when you got actually to do something that did matter a bit, you were really proud of yourself.
Definitely.
Yeah, maybe using the saw for the first time. It took for like ages, since I was like only 6, 7, but I really did my best to get through that plank or whatever you were doing. But it's
Mm-hmm.
nice. It's nice. It's a way of also a bit bonding actually between
It is.
yourself and your kids, and as we said, it's also important for them to understand how things works, and that some things just don't happen by itself. You
Mm-hmm.
actually have to fix it. You have to do something. You have to buy grocery apparently, and you have
Mm-hmm.
to fix like if there's a hole in the wall, well, it's not gonna self heal. So stuff like that. But
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
things that
But
you got to do, manly things around the house. That's that's
true that,
that's
true
just it.
that. But besides that, I mean, the beautiful stuff with anything else that you want to mention that is
Not really. I think other than just streaming and spending time with the family, just sitting on the sofa and us just chatting or whatever have you. I can't think of anything that anything exceptional that I can remember
Yeah.
off the top of my head that happened.
Mm.
Outside, like I did go. I did go roller skating this past weekend. Uh,
Okay.
yeah. So one of my brothers had a birthday party for his daughter, and I went roller skating. Me and Savi, and it was my first time roller skating. Like my first time
Oh,
like
cool.
proper roller skating. So when I was younger, I had like cousins with roller skates, and I got onto the skates, but I wasn't any good, and I just never went back.
Mm.
But this time I got on the skates, and I think because I went ice skating before, like I kind of got the hang of it. And at first I was just sort of like staying next to Zavi, just making sure he was okay because he was acting all shy and thing. And Zavi can skate; he's gone skiing and all that kind of stuff. But he was just
Yeah.
being so like, especially because most of the kids, well, pretty much all the kids there were younger than him. He was the oldest kid there, and so I think he was very self conscious because all these little kids were skating so well. And so he just didn't want to like put himself out there to fall down because he was feeling like, oh, if I fall down, I'm gonna look so bad. I'm a big kid,
Mm.
and these younger kids are capable. Like they're not gonna fall down. So yeah, essentially.
May I ask you? Sorry, I have to ask you though, because
Mhm.
when you say roller skating, are you referring to like the old real like roller skating
Yeah,
with like
four
wheels?
wheels, 4 wheels. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's the real stuff. I mean, I
Hmm.
still have inlines actually,
Hmm.
because I was doing that also with Isaac, and I actually did that a bit too. That's quite a few years ago.
Hmm.
I mean, as you know, I did play as with Isaac. I played a lot of ice hockey when I was younger, so I'm pretty good at skating. I could say, and it does help, of course, if you put on like roller skates or inlines. I have only tried real roller skates once, and that was in my youth. I think
Hmm.
since that was the thing that existed back then,
Hmm.
there were no inlines, right? So
Yeah.
it was real roll. That's cool to hear. Even though, yeah, you got to be careful though. If you fall, I mean, yeah, you can hurt yourself. I remember I have some protection, that you can put on your wrists, for
Hmm.
example, which is quite good. If you fall forward, you don't damage your hand, like
Hmm.
stuff like that. I guess having knee pads could be good too if you're
Hmm.
not really used to it. We've talked about helmet before, could
Hmm.
be good too. But that's not who had the roller skates, or was it like rental thing
It
or?
was rental, so we were inside of so it was for a birthday party, so we were inside it looked like a basketball court or something. Like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
so
cool.
it was like an auditorium kind of place. Which is why I was about to say like you didn't need the pads and all that kind of stuff because like you fall along inside an area like that, you just get back up. Like, I think most than anything else though as well, like with kids, and this is what I was trying to explain to Zavi. Like I was like, you guys are young. Like even if you fall and you hurt yourself, you guys bounce back like rubber. It's us older folks like me, Ash, and Bella. We were out there. I mean, we were all like laughing and saying to each other, like, yo, if we fall down, look at these kids, man. They're just zipping around the place. If we fall down, it's gonna be like we're gonna break something, you know?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Again, it can be,
it's,
dude. But that's cool. So this was in Reading.
this was actually in a place called Maidenhead. It's not too far from Reading. And we skated for like, I wanna say we skated for at least maybe like 30 minutes because we
Oh
by the end
wow.
of the skating session like we were sweating like
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
it was a workout. I didn't expect that. I was like, oh, it's just gonna be
Oh,
fine.
dude, it can be a really hard workout.
It's such a workout, but you know what, by the end of it I was skating like a total pro. I was doing my thing.
Good.
I was because at first I wasn't keeping up with Bella, and Bella makes it look so easy. Like I'm
Mm,
not even kidding. She's not even trying. At some point, it's just her legs are barely doing anything, and she's just zipping around the floor. Like honestly, she
mm,
makes it look so easy. I think especially because she's got Bella has really tiny legs, so like I shouldn't say legs, but feet. So she's small feet,
okay,
and so
okay.
you just see these two small feet in front of her, and they're just barely doing anything. And Ash and I, we're out there, and we're just sort of like, how is she doing that? It's like she's barely
Yeah,
making any
yeah,
movements, and
yeah,
she's
right.
just zipping around with ease, making it look like just so effortless.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had some fun, man. We had some fun. I wish I had
Good.
like I do have footage from the day.
Yeah, did you
Um
take pictures? Yeah.
Pictures, videos, all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
It would be cool to share some. I think I'll probably put some on my Instagram if you guys want to
You
see it.
should. You should.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
you guys go over to LP Guardian on Instagram and you'll
Yeah.
find it there. So you see my tag on the screen. So yeah,
Good stuff.
generally speaking, I'll put it up some. I'll try to put it up today if I can.
Yeah.
And then you guys can see me skating and stuff like that. But generally speaking, it was a good day.
Mm.
Got back, had some food, chilled with the family, and yeah, it's been a really chill week so far. Very
Good.
nothing too intense per se, nothing too all out there.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean,
But as we said, I think that's the thing. I mean, sometimes it's great when something spectacular happens or in a
mhm,
positive way. But on the other hand, if I would choose between, as I said before we started to record, between a kind of a neutral, nice, kind of a normal week, whatever that is, it depends on. Besides having like a bad week, of course I take the kind of normal neutral thing in the mid there.
mhm,
Much better, much better. And I
mhm,
would say I can just fill in. I've been like almost in the same position as you, meaning
right,
it's been like kind of a normal week. We still, my oldest son started to work again
mhm,
last week, and my wife still has vacation this week. But as said, I went up this morning and drove her to work. She needs to go in and help actually on Wednesday, meaning today when we are recording, and also tomorrow.
mhm,
Then, well, she's going to be off on Friday at least. So we've tried to do things like as you guys have been doing together as a family, even though
mhm,
we as said before, I mean, we have grown up kids now.
yeah.
Isaac is 23 and Adam is 27. My god, it's insane when you think about
It
it.
is. In my
It's so
mind,
weird,
Isaac is still 15. Like in my
yeah, I can
mind,
imagine for you also,
he's still.
because that has to be said. Me and Q has known each other now for many years, which
Yeah.
is great. Also following this path in life. With like the roller coaster that life is when it comes to the good and the bad, so to say. And yeah, it's true. But so we went out. Also, we did some stuff on. Was it this Saturday? I think. Because it has to be said, the weather here, the forecast has always been like shit on a Sunday or a beginning of the month or Monday actually for the whole week. But then it has changed, fortunately, to become something in between. But it's
Mhm,
been a lot of rain. I'm not gonna lie. And actually, like the last 2 days, there has been some warnings. Some parts here in Sweden has been getting a bit like unhealthy much rain, I would say.
mhm,
A bit of flooding warnings in some parts. And this morning, as said to you before recording, it was heavy rain here. But
mhm.
then, whoops, it like disappeared, and now we have the sun and blue sky. I don't know where that came from. So hopefully today it's gonna be okay. But with that said, Saturday we went into like a mall, shopping mall. We passed that, you and I, when you were here also. I pointed it out. This is called Sikla. We sometimes buy stuff here,
Mhm,
whatever have you. But even so, we were there. Adam got some stuff for his apartment, and the afternoon passed by, and we had a good time. And then there is a good restaurant there, a bit like upper price kind of place, but they have really good food, and like you can definitely go from like the side of buying good sushi or some good fish all the way to really high quality meat, that they have both from Sweden but also imported from some other countries.
mhm.
But the prices, and we talked about that, and I have become like this really. I feel like I'm getting. I'm complaining about everything right now. I had me and Adam had like it was some chicken, and you could choose like what you wanted on the side, like three side things. I think I took like tzatziki and uh what else, something avocado, whatever, and some garlic bread and stuff. And I mean, it was good, don't get me wrong. Everything you get there is good. But darn it, when you think about the price and the volume of the food you get, I'm like, come on.
I'm the
I'm a
same.
I'm a big boy here. Give me more.
I
Like,
am
come
the
on.
same, the same, the same. Whenever I go out for food, and I go looking and I see like, okay, these are the portion sizes, and this is like the other day. I think Alex was ordering food first, and she was like, "What do you want to get?" You know, and I was just thinking like, okay, I want something that's filling, good portion size, but I don't want it to cost a lot of money. Like these are
No,
my
yeah.
factors for picking food. It's gotta be good. It's gotta be healthy as well. Like I don't want anything like greasy, oily, you know, that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's gotta cost as low as possible, which is
Yeah.
difficult to find. If you're trying to go
It
cheap,
is.
trying to find
Nowadays, it's
healthy
even
and
harder.
filling,
Yeah,
yeah, it
yeah, yeah.
is. It is
Yeah,
quite.
I agree with you, and that's, I mean, we work a bit the same, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
we also take care of ourselves. I mean, the whole
Yes.
family is also working out, like,
Mm-hmm.
so we kind of, yeah, whatever. But the bottom line is that, I mean, as you also writing there, Miss AR, and I know who you are. It's a thing families do from time to time, and it's nice to go out there, you know, do things together if that's what you meant. But
Mm-hmm.
it's harder nowadays, like the last few years, to sit down and go out. Also here in Sweden, it's become really expensive. It was
Yeah.
that before, but now it's like almost ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but it was worth it even so. I mean, I'm not gonna. I sound so like mad about it. I'm not. We had a good time,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really nice. So I guess that's the highlight of this week, like doing things together, trying to, you know, uh, do the best, especially since Anneli has a bit of a limited
Amount of,
vacation this
yeah.
summer. Yeah, right. So that's that. And I hear you've had some rain too. Oh, you like to go to IKEA, right? Yeah, a whole day to entertain
IKEA
you
is
when you're
oh
looking
my
to
god.
improve your ads.
We
Yeah.
haven't done IKEA in a while, and honestly speaking, it is some of I don't know why. Like it's just cool just walking around IKEA and just looking at some of the like
Huh.
the
Huh.
like rooms they've built and just walking
Yeah,
through
I agree.
and just it's just like a fun time, you know, just walking around. Especially, I think the best way to go to IKEA is to go with the kids because like with the kids, they're so excited about like some things. I mean, we're excited about other things. We're like, wow, that'll look good in our room. You know, like,
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah.
and the kids are like, oh, it's a bed, let's jump on it. You know, that kind of stuff. But generally,
Yeah.
IKEA is just nice. It is nice to
Good.
wander
Yeah.
around.
It is. And also I just want to ask, since they have the same concept like throughout the world, you know, do they also have a restaurant at the
Yeah,
IKEA where you go? Yeah, exactly.
there's a restaurant at the
Usually,
end.
yeah, usually you can buy food at least at some kind of decent prices, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
At least it was like that. You can find some options that are okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but even so, where was I? I just gonna end the week, I guess. Yeah, I also did a pretty solid. When was that? Thursday last week. We have been. I met up with the keyboardist, the keyboard player, and the bass player, which is Janne and Gunnar,
Mm-hmm.
in the rehearsing space or our studio. And I moved my drum kit. That takes some time. It's quite a few drums there, and I still have all the mics attached, but we kind of
Mm-hmm.
arranged the whole thing when it comes to the whole sound interface and the computer, because I think I've said it before. We are able to record, you know,
Mm-hmm.
in that place. So we set that up and we recorded. Me and Gunnar, the bass player, recorded, you might say, the foundation of a song that we have played for many years.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to use that as a demo. So that was fun, but it was a long day. I remember, I think we started like 2 and finished like 8 or 8:30 p.m. So it was a lot of hours, and we didn't take a break for dinner. So
Ooh.
man, I was so when I drove home, I was like, I need to eat. And I think I've said it, I am quite sensitive when it comes to blood sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't really eat when I'm supposed to,
Mm-hmm.
my mood, my temper changes. It's like
You get
I
grumpy.
I
Feed
go into that,
me.
you know, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, into the Hulk mode.
Mm-hmm.
So that can that can be bad for other people around me. No, but I had to mention that because it was a lot of fun, and we're going to continue today. This afternoon, I'm going out meeting up with Gunnar. We're going to help Sam, which is the new singer, to finish his part on the song, recording it. So that's gonna be fun. And hopefully it's not gonna be heavy rain again when
Mm-hmm.
I'm driving. So yeah, it's been a nice, I would say a nice week. I hope we
Mm-hmm.
can have a good ending of the week, especially for Anna's sake, since she's gonna get back to work. When I let her off this morning, she sat like 5 seconds extra in the car
Aw.
before she went out. Yeah, I put my hand on her like leg and I said like it's gonna be okay, take it slow, don't overdo things. And she like, yeah, it's gonna be okay. She went
And then you
out.
cuddle her and you say, I won't let you go. Stay. Let's go back home.
Yeah, yeah. Let's make out in the car instead.
Yes, definitely.
No,
That's the way
that's
you
a
gotta
bad
do it.
idea because it's actually kindergarten
That's the
places.
thing. She's the principal, and the little kids walking by. Man, mommy, there's the teacher.
Yeah, yeah. Jekyll and Hyde thing, kind of there, Rod. Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
know that's oh, that's a classic, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Oh, I remember when I saw that the first like original black and white movie back in the
Mm.
days. Hmm.
Classics. The classics,
That's
man.
classic. So that was the week, man. We should get into some
What have you
because
been
I
watching? I'll
what should we?
start.
Yeah, we should do that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you start. Go.
I've watched a series now called Wu Assassin, which is on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
I want to say that the thing that you're going to be talking about, I'm more interested in what I'm talking about because of the fact that that's what you've been watching is on my to watch list, and I haven't watched it
Good.
yet. But I
Good.
really wanted to watch it with Alex actually.
Yes, you should. You should.
But we have not had time to sit and watch something together. We've had times to spend with each other, but we've been mainly gaming. Like she's been gaming, I've been gaming. So
Yeah, but that's nice. Yeah.
no time to watch because she wants to catch up on her game that she's been playing. But generally, I've been watching this show called The Wu Assassin, and it's on Netflix. Came out on August the 8th. It's new,
I know
and
what it is now. Yeah,
you know what it
I was
is.
so yes, it was so familiar, and then I went onto the website and I see now. Yeah, go ahead, talk
Have you
about it.
seen
Yeah.
it?
No, I haven't, but
Okay,
I thought about it, so it was like, yeah.
it looks like a good show when you start watching it. So I want to
Hmm.
say like when it first like I didn't watch any trailers, of course. Like typical me, I'm not watching any trailers. But I start to show up and I'm thinking, man, this looks like
I have watched it. Sorry,
you have watched it. Oh, okay.
I couldn't. Okay,
Perfect. So
go on.
I turned it on and I'm thinking, man, this is like my typical martial arts kind of like,
Yeah.
show. It's gonna be so cool. And because it starts off with like at first it starts off with, it's good acting. The actors are playing a decent role and all that kind of stuff. They're doing their job. And I'm thinking, right, this looks good. The beginning of the show, I think there's a whole scene where he's like, this guy's fighting all these guys in the hallway, and it's like looking so cool, proper martial arts stuff. But then it at the end of episode 1, it gets all supernaturally and all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, I'm not sure if I like this aspect of it. I don't think I'm into the whole. I don't think I want him to be some kind of like magic guy. I want to see I thought it was gonna be like this martial arts thing, and this guy he's just like takes out people or something, and that's his job. And his code name is the chef.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I know.
But no, it's not that. It's martial arts, but with magic and stuff. And I will say it's engaging. I
Hmm.
am keen on the series so far. I do like the lead and the Byron Mann who plays Uncle Six in this is probably my favorite character. I like his acting. He's teared it up. You know, but yeah, it's really good. It's really 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 good. I want to say I am loving it. And I would say you should check it out. It's a 6.4 on IMDb. I'll give it a 7. I'll give because when they're having the action scenes, like the fight scenes are really good. I like the fight scenes. I think they're pretty good fight scenes. And the actors and actresses are pretty cool in here. Like they know how to do their thing. I don't know if it gets worse as it goes along because I'm only on episode 4. But
Okay.
from episode 1 to when I say I'm on episode, I'm like halfway through 4, so I'm not even fully through episode 4 yet.
Hmm.
But from episode 1 to halfway through episode 4, it has been fine. it has been fine, and I am liking it so far. And hopefully we get to see. Hopefully it continues and it gets better. But for now, yeah, I'm enjoying it. So
Cool.
that
Yeah.
is
Yeah, Wu Assassin,
the
right?
Wu Assassin. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the Wu Assassin. I don't want to go into too many details about what
No.
the show's about. All I can say is that it's got the triad and all that kind of stuff in it, and
Yeah.
the main character, he's sort of affiliated with the triad in some form, and he's trying to distance himself from it, but due to these magic powers and some other stuff, he's sort of like getting dragged back in, and
True.
yeah.
We can add to it and say without actually spoiling that he is a kind of a chosen one. He's like
Yeah.
one of those. Yeah, when it comes to these powers and stuff. I can fill in and
Mm-hmm.
say that I kind of agree with you, and I saw Chris wrote that he thinks it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Since I've seen it the whole, which kind of I don't understand why I didn't think about that at first, but I have. I mean, it was okay. I would say that too. As a whole, if I look like through all the episodes, I think it's okay, and it could be worth watching for someone that likes this kind of style of series.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I want to add though that the main character here, his name is Iko Uwais,
Mm-hmm.
and he was born in Jakarta in Indonesia, and he's
Yeah.
a really good martial arts dude. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of like his personality as well. He's very like, I don't know, he has a really confident and calm kind of projective style of acting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I want to add, and I have talked about this before. If you, and that this goes for you as well, if you really want more and want to see him maybe in an even better like style of series or movies for that sake, I have talked about a movie called The Raid,
Mm-hmm.
which is I think it's a Korean production, or was it actually Indonesian? It could be
Mm-hmm.
Indonesian. It doesn't matter. The Raid from 2011,
Yeah.
and The Raid 2. These are some of the best like martial arts or action movies I've seen. It's insane action.
Mm-hmm.
It's like over the top. It's some really really good martial arts dudes in there, and definitely Iko is playing out his full register in these movies as well, being a police, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you should check that out if you haven't, and if you like that kind of action and him as well.
You would be like, you wouldn't be surprised to find out that I searched the Raid as you were talking about it, and
Yeah.
when I went to add it to my list, Raid 1 and the Raid 2 are already in my list. So you
Yeah,
recommended this to
probably,
me already?
since I have talked about them like years ago. I watched at least the first one 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
That's how good I think it is. Really cool. Yeah, so that's that.
He was also before we
Yeah.
move on, he was also in Star Wars apparently.
Yes, yes.
I don't
True.
remember him in Star Wars, but he was in Star Wars as some character called
Me
Razor
neither.
Quinfy.
Yeah, me
Um
neither, bro. I don't know. Uh,
yeah.
good for him.
Good for him indeed. But yes,
Yeah.
tell us about what you've been watching, Raj.
Sure. Yeah, this is a movie I believe I think you will like this, and I think Alex will like this, and I think you guys out there should watch it as well if you like one, good action, and two, a lot of laughter
Mm-hmm.
at the same time. It's not often I see a good action comedy kind of movie
Mm-hmm.
any longer or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
this is it's also something I've had on my list, and that is of course due to Agent Adam, my oldest son. He said like, "Dad, you got to watch Bullet Train." So
Is that how
yeah,
he sounds when he says it? Dad, you've got to watch Bullet Train. You're like, yes, son.
a bit like that actually. But more written through Discord. It's usually that's where I get this
Oh.
stuff. It's like tick, 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 and then it sends something, and I'm like, okay, oh yeah, sure, I'm gonna watch it.
It's like,
This is well, at least me and Anley watched this, and she liked it also. We had a good time, and it was only 2 days ago, on Amazon Prime.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's stars like Brad Pitt, Joey King, Aaron Taylor Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
and it's one of those. I think it's cool because what happens without spoiling is that yeah, it's this bullet train. We are in Japan. It's Tokyo. It's these like Shinkansen, the bullet trains, the fast trains, and for due to certain circumstances,
Mm-hmm.
these guys get on to the same train without knowing who they are at first, but they are looking for the same thing, you might say, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to spoil what. And they've done it really good, and I had a lot of laughter. There are two guys here that are playing as brothers, or actually they're called twins, but they're
Mm-hmm.
like not twins. One guy
Twins are not twins.
one guy is white and the other guy is black, so they're not
Mm-hmm.
twins, but they're brothers. And it's a lot of fun. They're great. They're yeah. Oh God. So it builds up. It's one of
Mm-hmm.
those movies, and especially also since it takes place on like a train, narrow space. You
Mm-hmm.
can't really go anywhere. You
Mm-hmm.
try to stop the train, you don't succeed, and even if you try to get out, there are people waiting for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like yeah, this is a good movie. I enjoyed it. It has a 7.3 on IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
I would give it at least 7.6, something like that, or higher. I had a good time. It's also not that super long. It's 2 hours 7 minutes, so it's
Mm-hmm.
doable. Directed by David Leitch. So yeah, give Bullet Train a try if you can. Hello,
Mm.
Daniel. Hope you're fine. No worries. We're just talking about movies, and if you feel like it, check out Bullet Train. I recommend it.
Welcome, Nalu.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bullet Train is good stuff. You know what? Now that I think about it, we spoke up. Did I break up the order of stuff that we spoke about? Like, are we supposed to talk about games first or film first? I've forgotten.
Um. That's what I was hesitating, and maybe that's why I was hesitating.
I heard your hesitation, and I was like, huh. But then I just went ahead. I was like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, does it matter? No, not
It
really.
doesn't really matter.
I mean,
To be honest. To be honest, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm gonna.
oh, yeah, Deadpool also looking forward to that. Same Daniel. Yep.
Deadpool 3 aren't a lot of films on hold because of the whole writer strike thing that's going on.
True, it is. It
Yeah.
actually is.
So I think it'll be a while now before we actually get to see that. But yeah, generally speaking, I would say films aside, I've been playing Trolls in the Sky.
Good.
As you can see on the screen, I'm loving it. I'm getting really deep into it, and I can't wait to start second chapter. I am getting really deep into the first game, and I think it's taken it's a bit longer than I should be taking with it, because of the fact that I'm doing a lot of side quests and exploring the game, and sometimes I'm like, messaging people and waiting for a response. I'm like, do you think I should do this or do that? Like that, because in this game, like, decisions matter to a certain extent, and I shouldn't be asking anyone for like their input. I should just be playing my style of how I play JRPG. But I think because the fact, like, I was playing at one point on stream, and someone mentioned to me, like, oh, you missed out on this thing. There was like a side quest. And I was like, oh my god. If they never mentioned that to me, I would have never started to like worry about all that kind of stuff. But since then, I've worried about, oh my god, I'm gonna miss this thing, I'm gonna miss that thing, I'm gonna miss this thing, I'm gonna miss that thing. And it's actually kind of, to a certain extent, it's kind of ruined it for me, because I'm now playing like the game by numbers, and I hate playing games by numbers, because then at that point in time, I'm not really enjoying it as much, because I'm just trying to make sure I check all the boxes.
Yeah.
Which is kind of not good, but at the same time, I'm still enjoying the game because the story is actually gripping me, and I like the characters. But yeah, I really need to I need to find a way to flush that sort of thing out of my head, because now it's kind of bugging me. It's like, did I miss this quest? Or did I miss that quest? And this thing? And and last night I even pulled up a walkthrough. For those of I would say, those of the older generation, you would know about walkthroughs. Younger kids probably don't know about them too much, especially like the written ones that you'd find on like game FAQs. You go to that website and they'll have like a full walkthrough that some guy wrote it on Notepad, and he did the designs for the face and everything like that, and some cool stuff. Got a walkthrough for the game, and it was like a spoiler-free walkthrough. Did a bit of that, but even though it was spoiler-free, there was still some stuff that was spoiled for me. Like one was a boss battle. So the game told me, like the walkthrough told me, like, make sure that your characters have these things on them to like help against this thing. And I kind of wish I didn't know that. There's a side of me that wishes that I only glimpsed it essentially because I was looking for something about a decision I had to make. But generally speaking, I wish I did not know that, because I would have gone into that boss fight. I'd have probably gotten smacked around and have to redo the fight and think about, okay, what do I do to help win this fight? And because of the fact that I already knew the fight was a lot easier than it probably otherwise would have been for me, you know. And that's just generally it. So
Okay.
Trails in the Sky, still loving it, still doing my thing, leveler. But
Yeah.
you know, sorry, what's this? I beat 1, 2, 3, 4 platinum. What's that for? Cold Steel, I can definitely help. Yeah, I don't care about platinums and that kind of stuff. That's the thing, Nalu. I think in general, for me, I don't care about platinums and all that kind of stuff. I generally care about like just my completion of a game, like doing the side quests and enjoying it. I mean, if I'm playing and someone's around me and they say, "Hey, man, like just you want to go here and do this thing." But I think if you mention some in hindsight, like, oh, if you'd only done this thing, man, you would have gotten this. Like that would just, it sends my OCD out of whack. And I start like thinking, oh my God, I'm missing everything. It's ruined, because that I go back and I look at like chapters I've been to and I'm seeing stuff I could have done. And I'm just like, oh, bollocks.
Yeah. No, but it's true. I can understand. I have had the same feelings with some games I played, especially when streaming. Usually, people are very gentle if they help, because they understand you don't want to get spoiled.
Yeah.
Even though you might get into a harder part or something that might scare you, since I do play sometimes also horror games. But it's I can also see the problem, as you said. Even though you look into a walkthrough or get some help there without spoilers, it's hard not to spoil. Like how can you write something and describe things without certain spoil to a certain extent? I mean, that's hard, especially with an RPG that you're playing, RPG. I can understand the problem, and I can feel you there. But it's even so, and yeah, also, I mean, you're on a quest, like you're like, okay, I'm gonna finish this game in a certain time.
True.
Right? So it's like a bit of a job, right?
It is,
and
a
I
bit
can
of a
understand.
job.
I wouldn't spend too. I would definitely do as you probably are doing now, like mostly just play and move forward without, I shouldn't say haste, but at least with some kind of direction.
Yeah.
So
I am still trying to enjoy the game, so that's why I'm like, I'm doing the side quests.
Otherwise, okay.
Yeah, because these are games that I wanted to play, that I was looking forward to getting into. So it wasn't like I made a bet with someone to play some crap that I didn't care about. Like I actually I'm actually enjoying myself with these games. So I am taking my time to an extent. Like obviously I'm not like, I'm trying to get through the game, but there's a side of me that's kind of like taking my time. So I'm sort of like, okay, I want to appreciate this particular aspect of the game and stuff like that, and so forth. But then at the same time, I'm binging it to a certain extent, like staying up late and just like playing a bit more than I otherwise probably would have if I was just playing it casually. But I am
cool.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Rog?
Yeah, sure. I'm here. I've been it's a bit of going back and checking out, playing a game I played back in the days. And maybe some of you guys have played it, or maybe you played like the mobile or tablet thingy back in the days. I'm talking about Plants vs. Zombies. And I'm talking about the game, the Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2, that was released in 2016 by PopCap Games, published by EA.
EA Games.
It's in a game.
Give us your money.
Now and again and again and again and again. Yeah, that's actually what happened for me. I will explain. It was released for PS4, PC, and Xbox One. And the thing here is that I had I've said this before, gonna make it short, had an old Origin account. But the problem is I wasn't quick enough when my mail address that I used to create that account was, the company was bought by another company, and it kind of didn't work any longer. And that's when I got problems, because Origin and EA, when it comes to support, I made a video about this that did well on YouTube for quite some time, due to so many people having the same problem. Due to the policies that EA has, it was really hard to retrieve, since I couldn't get like a confirmation mail when it comes to my login and stuff to that certain email address, they couldn't help me. So I was like, wait, I even pulled out receipts when it comes to, for example, buying Battlefield 3 back in the days on that account, but nope. So
Boy, nah, man.
yeah, that's another story. So what did I do a few years ago? Since I still wanted to play a few games, even though whatever, I did create another account. So now there's been like a sale on Steam. It's actually until August 15, where you can buy the what is it, like the it's a version of, it's the deluxe edition, I think, when it comes to this game on Steam for like £6. It's like quite cheap. And then the question is someone playing this still? And actually they are. It's even though I think it's more people maybe on especially Xbox One. Me and Crazy, we streamed the game yesterday, and as it often is when a game is older and not as, a lot of people are playing it as before, there are certain game modes that are more popular. But I would say, especially from my perspective of being foremost a FPS gamer, and this is a third-person shooter game with these quirky characters and abilities when it comes to the like the sunflowers and the corn on one side, and then you have a zombie engineer and a zombie med on, stuff like that. And it's kind of fun. It's a battle for this suburbia with different I think they've done a good job with this game. It's a bit underrated, I would say, when it comes to looking upon it as a shooter. So however, you can also, and I felt that now, this is something I want to say, because it has a bit of an incentive when it comes, or actually it has a bit of a, what is the word? I would almost say play to win kind of thing, because when I started now almost with nothing, because you can, get like in-game currency and buy packs, and you get like other variants of the classes, and they might be a bit better than the default one.
Yeah.
Not always, but sometimes, most of the time, I would say. So, and that I could feel that I was missing my old account, that I can say, because I had some more leveled up kind of dudes. And so it was a bit of a struggle sometimes, and I mean they are not getting into this game now and do something about balancing and stuff. This is old now, but it is still quite fun. We played some horde mode, got into other blokes and played horde, when you get these waves of enemies coming, and that was quite fun, actually. So it's a sweet and fun game, and I can definitely see also that it works well in a range of ages. Apparently, I mean, we're adults playing, but this is definitely also a game that kids can play, and it's not like a bloody kind of thing. So yeah, that, I guess that's my saying about the Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2 from 2016. Yeah.
I remember playing that game and liking it a bit at the time when it came out. But EA ruins things, so yeah.
Well, what can I say? It is true, and I have to say this. This was interesting. Sometimes before I stream, I have this procedure. I usually try to restart my PC, especially if I've been around doing a lot of things before. Because me and Crazy, meaning Isaac, was playing a bit, like hours before the stream. I needed to get into the game a bit again. And I let the PC on, and then, because what you do is, when I bought it now on Steam, I merged it with my kind of EA account, right? So when you start the game, I can see that EA pops up like it's connected and everything, and then the game starts up. Isaac still has his older version apparently on Origin or an EA, so it's okay. But then when I started the stream, this is so typical. It didn't happen before. When I tried to start the game, the EA app started to do weird shit when I went through Steam, which I should do. I mean, it's on Steam for me, but it has to go through EA. It's complicated, right? So I had to close down. What did I do? Yeah, I restarted both Steam and EA, and then it worked, so I can start up the game. It's like because I don't know about you guys and if you even touch EA Origin at all, but before also when I played some other games, I've had sometimes problem with the EA launcher, and that hasn't really been the thing with the other launchers like Epic Games or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
My
yeah.
problem with e-launcher is that once you open it, it just like if you open it once on your PC, but you set it that you don't want it launched in the startup, it still does it. Like
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
irritating. I don't want you to
it's
start up.
so irritating. I hate that.
And it literally it sets itself and it pops up in the background and it keeps popping up and it's irritating, like the worst, absolute worst, you know. So
Yeah.
and then ask you for permissions for stuff like, can I do this thing? And I'm like, I don't really know if I want EA having permissions on my computer to do anything, like, unless I have to.
Right. Yeah, it's true. I see you've had an Origin launcher, Daniel, and played also. Oh, Def Jam FFNY on your PS2. Yeah, that's an old cool EA game though. Yeah, I mean there are a lot of good titles, and it kind of that's the problem because I wish they were on another platform. I wish like.
Oh,
Yeah, put it on Steam. Put it on Steam. Put it on Steam. That's always what I think, being a bit old school when it comes to relying on Steam. But it's like, I don't know. Yeah,
it is what it is. It is.
it is what it is. But again, it's fun. It was a fun experience. I just want to say that, even though I missed my old account again, when you have been actually grinding for things and got a bit further into the game, so to speak. But yeah, it's cool. It's nice to play a bit of a different game that you're used to once in a while, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Well,
that do be the things. But I think with that, EA Games ruins everything. How about we?
yeah, that's another kind of logo opening.
Yes, yeah. EA Games ruins everything.
Everything. And take your money. While doing it. Yeah. Takes our money. Yeah.
Oh
okay.
Man, you know what?
Yeah.
All that aside, we do want EA games to be better because they used to be so good. You know, EA used to come with they were like a seal of approval of something good. Like when you got an EA game back in the day, and it was like EA Games challenged everything.
No,
it was like a good game, you know.
Yeah.
Now it's like caca poo poo heads. Yeah,
something like that indeed.
Yeah, it's like you're like, okay, so where are they gonna try to charge me for a game that's single player and I don't really shouldn't need to buy anything, but how are they gonna try to get me for this? You know, that's the first thing you start thinking about.
That's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah, but with that said, I think we've slowly reached an end for
I think that's a podcast, is it?
Yeah, I think it's a podcast actually, the gist of it.
Leveler.
Yeah, Leveler. I just want to add to, as always, thank you for listening and thank you guys for coming in, listening live also here in the podcast when it comes to the stream. Thanks a lot. And to those of you that are listening afterwards, nice to have you as well listening. And if you can and take your time, a thumb up or something, a like is always appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
But foremost, thanks for being here and hope you're going to have a beautiful week. Take care, stay healthy, and happy video me gaming. Muffin and out.
Beautiful as always. Yeah, sorry, I was a bit distracted at the end, while you were doing your outro. I do apologize for that.
No worries.
I literally just got randomly onto Amazon looking at air dusting guns because I was just thinking I need to clean my PC and some of my hardware wrong. And once you start going on that rabbit hole of looking at tools as a manly person,
Yeah.
Yes, you start looking at these tools and these electric tools, and you see numbers next to them, and it's like the bigger numbers make sense, Yes, that's the one. So sometimes I do random things. Like sometimes when we're recording, sometimes something pops up on your screen, and you're just like, that looks like it could be a good deal, Yeah, I do need to clean my PC. Yeah, definitely. I didn't think about that before. And the stuff I have, yeah, it works, but it's not as good as this thing. Yeah. So
oh man.
So yeah.
Alrighty, bro.
Unfortunately. That being said, thank you very much for those of you listening to the episode of That Beautiful Life podcast. And as Rod said, those of you who are listening in post, Thank you for all of you guys. And thank you for everyone who dropped a like on the episode as well. Appreciate it. That's how hopefully that helps us reach more people and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
But with that, every beautiful person here in the chat and those of you listening in post, as always, we wouldn't like you guys to miss out. Oh, wait, before I say that part, you can find Rog pretty much everywhere. For the Splish Splash, number 40 SPLESH, SPLESH. He streams on a Tuesday and a Sunday. That's correct?
It's so correct.
Ooh, get some days to yourself, Rog. You can find me pretty much everywhere. That's with LP Guidance, guiding to you. Or find us at Simply Binge UK. If you watch the podcast on YouTube, you will see those names printed on the screen. And everywhere else is probably in the chat. Not the chat, sorry, in the description. But with that, guys, as always, we wouldn't like you guys miss on any of the episodes of That Beautiful Life podcast. Many beautiful people like to subscribe to this podcast on Castbox, Acast, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, YouTube, SimplyBinge.com and elsewhere. And with the confidence again, like that we're giving it for free. So, as always, guys, this has been queued for your pleasure. And it's a wrap. That is the episode.